Welcome back, moms and dads. Summer break is knocking on our door, and maybe you're already stressed out because you don't know what you're going to do with your children. You've heard us say it, we only have 18 summers. But there's another thing that is even more shocking that I've heard is that we only have 1 year with our baby, 3 years with our toddler, 9 years with our child, and 5 with our teenager. So that brings up a little bit more emotion, that time goes by quickly, and we shouldn't use it in just being stressed out, waiting for summer to be over, waiting for some better day in the future, but enjoy what we have.
That's a concept that you brought a couple of years ago. You wrote a blog called The 18 Summers. And I was like, okay, what is this all about? And of course you understand to a certain extent, but when I read it, I realized it's true. We never see it so short. It seems it's very long, but when you think about 18 summers,
we've passed it with our 2 children, and we usually often think in years, but parenting moves in rhythms and seasons. To think about it too, that we only have a limited amount of those evening cuddles. And I've just spoken to parents of teenagers that miss that said it's changed almost from one day to the next, that my teenager doesn't want to be cuddled anymore. Or we only get a limited time of cooking meals for our children. As a mom, I know how time intense this is, and I would love to once just calculate the time I invested in cooking for my kids for 18 years. But even that will pass once, and we only get a couple of first day of schools, last day of schools, graduation, usually one. There's so many of those little milestones in our children's lives that we think is going to be there forever, but they're really limited. Memorable doesn't mean expensive. And that is an important part for you.
And I think memorable is also, you don't have to have a plan for every day.
No.
Sometimes you go into this season, you're like, oh, we need to have a plan. We need to have a lot of things lined up, and things can be very simple actually.
Because especially here in France, they have 2 months of summer break. In Spain, where we live, there was 3 months, and in Switzerland, it's 5 weeks. So it's a big difference between different countries. So I can understand 3 months can become very overwhelming. I even spoke to a mom today, and she said the 2 months is pretty long too, just because the kids, you don't even know what to do anymore with your kids. They start fighting. It's difficult. So as you said, we do not need a plan for every day. Maybe you have one of those kids too, like we had, that asks every morning during summer break, what are we going to do today? And if I said nothing, they would be whining, it's boring, we need to do something. Then you have the other kids that love those times because they love to just play in their room for hours. Lego, sometimes you just need this time. And even for the very social kid, this is a opportunity to play with something longer. And usually they settled into it too after a couple of minutes. But we have a couple of ideas.
Some adventure that we did, for example, sleeping in the garden, sleeping on the trampoline.
And you can sleep on the balcony too if you don't have a garden.
All kinds of sleeping. It's kind of an adventure, and the toddlers, they really love this.
Yeah, and just thinking, what can we do in our home? If you don't have a garden, you can all sleep in the living room. You make a little fort, you make your makeshift tent. You can do, or in the cellar. There's so many opportunities where you can sleep.
We did special cooking events, sushi parties, things that takes a bit more time, where you can be around the table and do things together.
Yeah, or you do picnics in the park. You just bring everything to the park, to the lake.
Barbecue in the forest.
Yeah, Or even just like easy, you make a picnic, the weather is bad, you can't go out. That's like the worst as a mom. So then you need a couple of ideas that you thought about prior to summer, and we'll put out an Instagram about ideas, what you can do with your kids that aren't expensive, that are easy to do. But a lot of times, like meal planning, we can't just think about it on the top of our head. But we need to be prepared for those days and just like have a little list for those rainy days, for those boring days, for just like to have a couple of planning during the week.
And what we realize over the years is sometimes you have to push yourself to do it. And it costs you.
Money?
No. The weather is sometimes...
But it costs also sometimes money.
Yeah, sometimes money.
And it's okay.
But if the weather is bad, very often we'll cancel. But actually, if you do it afterward, you're happy you did it. And sometimes the weather is just too hot, so you always find something not to do it. So push.
Or you're tired, or you don't want to make everything ready.
But we never regret it afterward.
So do what you can in the season you're in. Push yourself because it won't come naturally. Like the picnic on the floor, like put out the picnic blanket, eat all together on the floor. These are things that our kids love to do. And even if it gets messy, if the crumbs are on the floor, you have, I believe so, a vacuum cleaner. So you can clean it right after. I think sometimes we're just like are in the way of our creativity because there's some cleanup to do. Like I have one of those at home. Like I have the ideas. He's like, oh no, it's too complicated. Usually your answer is no.
It's true. Usually my first answer is no. Who is gonna clean the car? Who is gonna do this? Like on a like 6 hour car drive, like we're not allowed to eat in the car. So why not changing a little bit the rules in summer?
You have to.
You know?
I think you have to change it up, like even like meal times, change it up, bring some flexibility in. Absolutely, if you have smaller kids, they thrive on structure, and too much change, like you'll have kids not sleeping, kids waking up too early, just a lot of chaos. So be aware of that too. Know your child, know what they need, the quiet they need, the social time they need. Know that you don't just have one child, if you don't have just one child. So be aware that everyone has different needs, and don't forget your own needs as a mom.
What is interesting, if you remember your 18 years with your parents, what was something that stood out? It's usually not the biggest trips, it's some simple trips. For me, for example, it was going in summer to a camping, very simple, but we always found our friends there.
We always stayed all the 5 weeks at home, but every morning we went to the lake and stayed at the lake the entire day when it was nice, and my mom prepared sandwiches. We even did like our naps there when we were smaller, just like under a tree. She brought a little blanket, we were sleeping there. We were always with our friends because our friends' family came too. So it was kind of boring if you would think about it now, because we always think we need to do something big for our kids, but it was this tradition that we loved. And then sometimes during the week we got to get ice creams that were super expensive. Like usually we went and got it at the grocery store walking back, and the back hill was like so steep we're sweating because it was a fraction of the price. But sometimes we got it at the restaurant nearby, which made all the difference and tasted so much better. And even that, we didn't need it every day. We were happy with maybe the once a week or every 2 weeks. So just think about your own memories. What do you still remember? What was precious to you? And how can you create them with your children? And let's not forget that the first day back to school will come quickly. Even though you're at the beginning of the vacation, you'll look back and you'll be like, oh, this just flown by. Another important key that we early found is the kids will are super excited naturally about the summer break. But if we as parents don't match their excitement, they will like feel bad very quickly because they will feel like a burden.
Yeah. And we understand, as we mentioned before, it can be heavy because suddenly what do you do with your kids?
Yeah. And it will even be heavy because I think sometimes then we have the expectation it's just going to be fun, it's going to be amazing, nobody's going to cry, nobody's going to fight. And then suddenly you're in the middle of it and it gets hard. And especially what I found, as soon as we get time with our kids, we will see character traits in them that we haven't seen throughout the year because they're always in school that we don't like. And then this can become very frustrating. Moms and dads, what I tended to do in those situations was to take it as opportunity. Because I was like, this is an amazing opportunity. I have now those weeks that we can work on it, because that was in our head usually too. Summer break, we didn't tell our children, is also to work on certain behavioral traits that we have neglected during the year because maybe we haven't seen them either. So when they pop up, don't be discouraged or angry, but like think about us and think about this is an opportunity. I still have time. I'm still in this like time frame that I can teach them. So let's take it as a beautiful assignment to include in summer break too.
This is something you did from the early age, and I was always impressed because like, oh, this could be a time to chill, to take it easy, but she has, she wants to do something. There's like a goal. And I think this is powerful because if you think in the long run, it's great because the influence of school is gone. And then you have like full-time influence again on the kids. So create memories also. Influence
and teach them, because it's a gift. This time is a gift. You are the primary influencer during this time where you can instill so much that maybe you didn't have time during the year. So take that really as an opportunity also to teach about God, to watch like Christian movies, to pray together, to do worship evenings together.
Photo album every summer, after summer. So we made tons of pictures during summer. And at the end of the summer, around September, Shamir will come with an album. And those albums were great memories to remember.
And just like sit together, they love to cuddle on the couch and look through what we did, or the cousins we met, or the adventures we did. So that's a key if you want to invest some time, because it does take time, but it's a beautiful memory for yourself, but your children. And don't forget the last evening. We usually went to the restaurant, but maybe not the last evening because we can't go to sleep that late. Everybody has to go into rhythm again. Maybe start the rhythm like the week prior, or your kids are going to be exhausted.
But to celebrate basically the end of the holidays, which is kind of a strange concept because it's kind of a sad day. What like you would think.
You're celebrating the beginning.
The beginning.
The beginning of the new year, and
encourage them, pray for them. This is something we did every year.
And usually I made little notes for them afterward for the couple of days of school, the first week, to encourage them, because usually it's not always easy. And that's something that you could do too, to just like send them off with a blessing. And every morning, that's what I did too, is just to bless them. I know parents, they really have a particular blessing. They pray over their kids before they go to school. And that's just powerful to not just like let them off. And it's like such a stressful morning and they're just running out of the house without anything. So make it a point for the back to school to be power filled with the Holy Spirit. We all have those couple of minutes because it doesn't take a lot of time.
And who should write the notes too? I guess
usually the dad.
So you write the notes, you hide them in their box, in their backpack or something, and they're super happy to find them. They believe the mom is going to write something, but they don't really, they are not sure if the dad will do. So dads, when you write, it's like it's powerful.
Yeah. So we just want to encourage you that this summer is going to be an amazing summer. Maybe not in the way you think, but there's opportunities that are arising. Maybe reveal some, as I already said, some flaws that have been not checked, like some things that are coming up, maybe lying, hitting, being on the phone too much, and you see it now. So just take it as an opportunity. You have still these moments to invest in your children, to teach your children. That's our mandate. We shouldn't get into summer to be just thinking it's going to be easy. I'm going to sleep in. I will have nothing to do. No, it's an opportunity for us parents to sow seeds that will last a lifetime. So don't forget, you have 18 summers. If you have a baby, you only have 1 year with your baby, and take care, take advantage of all those cuddles, those extra gifts they bring home, those drawings that seem not to end, like all of that we think like, oh wow, and just like enjoy this time. Because
it goes quick.
Yeah, it goes very quick. Take it from us, seasoned parents. Enjoy to the fullest. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. We'll post a lot of videos now about summer during the month of July, and check out our social media too, because we'll post ideas of what to do with your kids. So we're excited for next week. Until then, bye.